like before the cameras rolled. The world outside was rushing in a quiet red dawn. She didn't mention the timeline, but the moment the hearing started, she already had the entire timeline mapped in her hand. What happened next wasn't supposed to leak, wasn't supposed to shake the room, wasn't supposed to turn a routine oversight session into a political earthquake. Stay connected till the end to know what actually happened. Before we divide into who Jasmine Cricket cornered, why a Congress member ended up using his own signature against himself, and how this moment reshaped the oversight narrative. Make sure you have that subscribe button activated, because this story documents contractor corruption, political theater, bureaucratic cover-ups, and an explosive twist that no one in the committee room was prepared for. The atmosphere was so tense that even the committee chair had no choice but to call an emergency recess, something rare in the House Oversight Committee chamber, where political theater has unfolded for years. Impeachment hearings, Supreme Court confirmations, constitutional showdowns, all becoming part of historical record. But most oversight hearings are decided in quiet, technical procedures, the kind of government housekeeping that rarely gets headlines. Today's session was supposed to be one of those, a solid, routine review of key oversight practices and federal detention facility issues. The witness list included mid-level agency officials, policy experts, and a few advocacy group representatives. Nothing that would normally draw more than a handful of reporters or generate any viral movement online. But Jasmine Cricket had other plans. She had spent the previous week doing something most members of Congress never actually do: reading, digging, investigating the background document. The most important information is often buried in appendices, footnotes, administrative records that no one expects to read. They get filed because they have to be filed, but rarely reviewed. And in this case, she found something extraordinary: a comprehensive ICDS report, one that was supposed to have been submitted to Congress 6 months earlier, had been completed, signed off, reviewed by multiple officials, and then quietly sealed in a restricted archive. The Oversight Committee wasn't supposed to access it without special authorization. The report detailed systemic problems at detention facilities across 3 states: inadequate medical care, questionable use of solitary confinement, financial irregularities in contractor payments, and what investigators termed credible allegations of personal abuse at multiple sites. It was exactly the kind of document federal agencies are required to share with congressional oversight. But that's not what made it explosive. What made it explosive was the signature page. Among the verifying officials, those who reviewed the findings and attested to its accuracy, was someone who had once served on the House committee, someone who built a political identity around hardline immigration positions, someone who switched parties from Democrat to Republican and reinvented himself as a champion of enforcement, the New Jersey Congressman. And there it was, his signature, his verification, his acknowledgement of the problems, months before he publicly denied any wrongdoing in detention facilities and dismissed abuse allegations as politically motivated fiction. That contradiction, that paper trail, was the fuse. Jasmine walked into the hearing with a copy. The committee staff didn't know. The chair didn't know. The agency witnesses definitely didn't know. And the moment she began her questioning, the entire atmosphere shifted. Reporters, who had previously been scrolling through emails and drinking lukewarm coffee, suddenly lifted their cameras. Jasmine asked the agency witness a simple question: has the ICDS report on multi-state detention oversight been submitted to Congress? The witness hesitated. "We are still reviewing." Jasmine cut in calmly. "That's interesting, because I have it right here." The room went silent. She held up the document slowly, letting the cameras capture every inch of its cover page, its classification markings, and the unmistakable signature page attached to the back. Gasp rippled across the chamber. Several members exchanged frantic glances. The chair's hand froze mid-gesture. The New Jersey Congressman, seated 2 seats away, stiffened, jaw tightening, knowing exactly what she was holding before she even turned the page. Because his signature wasn't just there. It was dated. It was authenticated. It was irrefutable. He had reviewed that report 18 months ago. Yet for over a year, he had gone on television, held press conferences, and issued official statements insisting that abuse allegations in detention centers were exaggerated, unverified, unsubstantiated. He had accused journalists of manipulation, accused watchdog groups of stoking hysteria, and dismissed multiple whistleblowers. And now, sitting in that hearing, his own verified signature proved he had known the truth all along. He attempted damage control within minutes, releasing a statement claiming he had been misled, that the document was taken out of context, that additional review was needed. But no one bought it, especially because the report had been validated, checked, signed, and sealed under his oversight. The real shock came 3 days later. The House Inspector General announced an official investigation into irregularities in the handling of oversight reports related to detention facilities. It wasn't listed as a direct result of Jasmine's questioning, but everyone knew the connection. Public pressure had become impossible to ignore. Networks replayed the clip. Social media erupted. Commentators debated whether this was negligence, deception, or deliberate suppression. In an interview with MSNBC, Jasmine explained why she confronted him. "This isn't about one congressman," she said. This is about a pattern where people in power hide information when it doesn't support the narrative they want to tell. They hope nobody notices. Well, I noticed, and I'm going to keep noticing. Oversight means actually working. It means finding what's hidden, not just reading what's handed to you. That moment, more than any viral clip or headline, reminded her that the confrontation was worth it. Because the documents mattered, the signature mattered, the timeline mattered, not because they embarrassed a politician, but because they protected real people, people whose suffering powerful interests had tried to hide. If this deep dive into how Jasmine used a congressman's own signature to expose a detention abuse cover-up shows anything, it's this. Oversight is supposed to work. Accountability is supposed to happen. And when someone tries to bury the truth, someone else must drag it back into the light. Subscribe for more stories about the moments where accountability actually happens, and share this with anyone who believes transparency depends on what the findings really are. Helping us keep this story alive ensures we follow every development, every photograph, every document that comes out next. Truth only works when someone refuses.